Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. Today we're going to talk about all the influencer brands that are there in the market. I majorly picked out all the YouTube influencers because this is a YouTube channel. I really wanted to focus on that. But if you are interested to know which are like the top influencer brands that are there in the market and the ones that I absolutely love and adore, then please keep on watching. Let's begin. I am so excited. For the primer, I'm going to take my Farsali Skin Tune Blur Primer, and this is coming back in action. Farsali was a brand that was created by Farah and Sal here on YouTube, and I thought this is the perfect time to put these things in action, just because I could not show it to you guys on camera because they had shut down. But I'm so excited that they are back, and these products are beautiful. The one that I'm using right now is for skin tuning, so basically it just blurs out all the pores, which is beautiful for all us who have large pores on, especially on the cheek area. Yeah, I love it. Definitely the two products that I absolutely love from Farsali is the Skin Tune Blur Perfecting Primer Serum, and the one that I also love is the liquid powder. The one that is in the rose packaging. I use this underneath the makeup, over the makeup. It's beautiful. If I have a chance to show it to you guys in action, I'll definitely do that. So once we have the skin all primed, let's move on to the foundation. The YouTuber that I want to mention for foundation is Patrick Star. Now, we've all seen Patrick Starr's brand, One Size Beauty's evolution in the makeup industry, and he's done such amazing products in his line. So I definitely wanted to use this One Size BBB cream, and that is a Beauty Blur Balm Cream, and I am in the shade Medium 3G. So let's take it out. I basically love to apply it like this. I hardly go this way right now just because it creates a lot of mess here. So I just take it out from the squeezy tube just to avoid a little bit of mess. And then this probably would be a lot, but we'll roll with it. I'm going with a more of a fluffy brush just because I have some active acne going on, and I know that this foundation catches on to the dry patches. So I want a light layer, and then I'll press the product in if needed. But even though this is like a Beauty Blur Balm Cream, it definitely gives like a good medium buildable coverage. As you can see, like with a fluffy brush, you can see the coverage on my cheek area, and I've hardly used anything from my hand. We can build it up if we want to. I just don't want like a thick layer already going on, like as a base, like first layer on my skin, if that makes sense. So that basically just like evens out everything. By the way, I did my brows using the Huda Beauty eyebrow pencil, another influencer, YouTuber that is so good with her makeup line. Huda Beauty, if you do not know, like so beautiful. I'll leave the shade on the screen for you guys for the eyebrow pencil that I used, but beautiful products. Okay, I'm gonna drag it to the neck too, so that there's no demarcation. And now, wherever we want to build coverage, I'm going to take a second layer and then just build up in the areas where we actually need it. I'm going to use this as my concealer too, just because I don't have like a concealer from an influencer, like from a YouTuber or an influencer, if you say. I definitely want to try the Patrick Star one, the One Size one, because I've heard beautiful things about that. But I'm definitely going to color correct a little bit because I do have a little dark discoloration underneath my eyes. I'm going to use Huda Beauty, and if you guys do not know, this is Drew Barrymore's brand, and they have some beautiful complexion products. So if you were eyeing them, I would definitely say give it a go. You'll be impressed. So I'm going to just drag it down underneath the eyes just to color correct a tiny little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to take the same product, whatever is left over from that One Size BBB cream. I'm going to target that underneath the eyes as my concealer. So you can see, like, It's definitely a very unique product. It can definitely work as a foundation, a skin tint, but with a little bit more of a coverage, I would say, and a concealer, because it can build it up very beautifully and give it more of a full coverage if you need so. Just didn't want to waste any other product. So that's why I'm using this as my concealer today. Beautiful. And by the way, this brush is from Laura Lee Los Angeles. So Laura, if you don't know, is a big YouTuber here. And this is the brush L24. I absolutely love this brush from my line. Like perfect for setting underneath the eyes for the concealer. It's beautiful as like for cream blushes. Very, very beautiful like cut of the brush. Like as you can see, it's like it mimics like a finger, but it is a little like on the thicker side. Love it. Now talking about underneath the eyes, let's finish it off with the setting powder. And you guys know I love the One Size Beauty translucent setting powder, and this is what I'm going to use underneath my eyes because this just blurs it out completely. I'm just going to press it and drag it. Definitely don't go like back and forth. Instead, press it out and you'll see like the blurring happening. See, look at this eye and this eye. It's magic. But if you have this powder and if you feel like it's not doing the blurring, I personally feel you need to press it to see the difference. So try it that way and see if that works for you. My eyes are a little hooded, so let me just set my crease, my eyelids too, because I definitely tend to crease, especially my eyelids become like super oily throughout the day. Okay, so that's how our base is looking so far. Super smooth, super nice, at least according to me. Okay, now let's move on to the cream bronzer. I definitely want to give M Cosmetics a shout out. Now this is the brand that is found by Michelle Phan, and she is like the OG YouTuber. I mean, really. So I'm going to take that on my stippling brush just because super pigmented. You can definitely directly go, but I'm going to apply it with a stippling brush and just show you how beautifully it blends. And this one is in the shade Nomadic, and you can see like it just gives a good contour to the cheeks. Absolutely beautiful it is. If you're looking for a product, especially if you're my skin tone, I think the shade Nomadic would be lovely. But if you are a little more on the lighter skin tone than me, the shade Summer would be absolutely beautiful to you. Summer is more of a like a bronzer shade for a light to medium skin tone. I actually initially got the shade Summer, but that didn't work out for me just because it was mainly like my skin tone shade. So I returned that and instead got the shade Nomadic. I'm going to take that on my jaw too. And I'm going to take the same product on like a little bit of a slanted brush. And for a nose contour, very light amount. But that would do the job for the nose contour for us. And just drag it on the eye socket and then just blend it across the side of the nose. And instantly you'll see my nose slim down quite a bit. And just blend the center of the nose with your fingers, just for like a smooth transitioning. Can you see the difference? I certainly can. So that's for our cream bronzer. Now let's move on to the powder bronzer. And the powder bronzer that I really want to mention is from Glowish. And this is another like a sister company or like a part of Huda Beauty. And this I am in the shade 03 Tan Light. So let's apply that as a bronzer. So I'm going to just take it on a big fluffy brush and just go on the sides of my face. And this will set the cream bronzer in place and give us a little more warmth rather than the contour shade. So once we have that set, let's move on to the blush. Now, if you are in need of like single blushes, I would highly... Nothing happened. super grateful. But if you are in search of single blushes, I would highly suggest Persona Cosmetics. And this is a line that was created by Sona here on YouTube. And these are the two blushes that I have from her line. This is the peachy one is called Georgia and the mauvey one is called Caramel. She calls these to be like super blushes. And if you are in a lookout for a blush palette, definitely don't look past this, and you definitely need Lunar Beauty's Moon Prism blush palette. He also came out recently with a nude prism blush palette, but I really love this color story rather than the other one. But I feel like even that, if you are more on like a deeper skin tone, you would absolutely love the other one. Let's take this and this together and mix it and apply that as our blush. Super smooth. And Lunar Beauty is a brand that was created by Manny MUA. Hilarious. He's just hilarious. If you've seen his videos, you would know. Like, I love watching him at like night when I'm like winding up myself. Beautiful channel to watch for like a good laugh. And he's so good in his craft. So good. And I'm, by the way, mixing two shades, which is Pink Moon and Stargaze. So that's how the blush is looking so far. It also does come with like a mirror too. Beautiful product. Okay, now let's move on to the highlighter. Now, whenever I think of highlighter, and if I am thinking of a YouTuber that does highlighter well, that is Jaclyn Hill. And her line of like highlighters are my favorite. So this is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I actually have two with me. This one is in the shade Mesmerized. I also have the shade Iced with me. But I personally feel that Mesmerized works better on medium to tan skin tones. So I'm going to use this today. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. Just dip into that. It's more of like that peachy golden highlight that flatters the medium tan skin tone the best. When I'm looking for that icy kind of like a silvery toned highlight, I go for the shade Ice, especially when I'm doing like cool tones. I don't know what I'm going to do today on the eyes. So yeah, let's stick to Mesmerize. And I'm going to take this on the nose too. You can see how beautiful and wet it looks. Stunning. I'm also going to take the same highlighter on my inner corners. Okay, now it's eyeshadow time. So there are a few brands that I have to mention for eyeshadow. Huda Beauty's Mercury Retrograde, any eyeshadow palette that is in like the bigger packaging is a beautiful. I've done like a dedicated video to this palette. And this is such a beautiful palette. I generally do use this like for my everyday use in summer and spring. Like, I love it. Next brand that I have to mention is Dominique Cosmetics, and this is Kristen Dominique's brand. If you guys have been on this channel, you know how much I love this palette. This was like my #1 palette for 2021. And for a reason, I used to continuously use this palette. Beautiful formula, beautiful shades, like so complimentary on every skin tone, I would say. This is a beautiful palette. Okay, now if you're looking for like a rosy pinky tone eyeshadow palette, look onto Lauralee Los Angeles brand, and they have Nudie 2 palette. And this is such a beautiful pinky rosy palette. I love this. I absolutely love this. So I don't know what are we gonna do. I'm gonna basically dip into a few palettes. I also wanted to mention Hindash Cosmetics. I had done a dedicated video very recently, so I'm not going to touch this. And plus, I'm going to do like a 3 or 5 looks using these palettes on my channels. But Hindash does beautiful eyeshadows, but he does all matte eyeshadows. So if you are looking for these kind of color story, I think you'll absolutely love it. So that was Monochromance from Hindash. And he has like a basic neutral palette in his collection too. And this is Beautopsy from Hindash. Stunning palettes. You can use this on your eyes as well as on your face. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that for today, just for today. But let's begin. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's see where we go. I'm just gonna dip into these 3 palettes. Basically Mercury Retrograde, Lauralee Los Angeles palette, as well as Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. So I'm going to take this shade, which is called Karma, from the Mercury Retrograde palette, and I'm going to basically dust this as my crease shade. You can see how beautifully pigmented these shades are, and it blends like a dream. So once we have that as our crease shade, I'm going to take the same shade and blow it down on my lower lash line. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take this shade, which is called Vortex from the palette. It's a deep plum, like a, I don't know, a deep purple plum shade. And I'm going to take that on my outer corners just to deepen it out. Actually, should we do a halo eye? I think we should. It's been quite some time that I've done a halo eye. I'm a big fan of halo eyes, if you do not know. I'm going to take the same shade Vortex on my outer corners of the lower lash line, just so that everything flows together. Just like that. I'm going to mix the shade Vortex and Karma together and just blend out the edges so that there's no harsh lines. Okay, I'm going to take Karma and Vortex together and then just put that on my inner corners, just to deepen up the inner corners a tiny little bit. So basically first just place the shadow and then slightly blend it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. So now I'm going to take the same blending brush that we used earlier and I'm going to dip into actually the shade called Blushing from the palette. And this is a beautiful cool toned purpley pinky shade. I'm going to dust that in the crease just to blend everything together. And this will give a little more lightness in the eye. So we have like a beautiful pinky shade going on. So what I'm going to do is basically take the shade called Nudie from this palette. Like, it's beautiful. Look at that. I'm just going to place it right in the center of the eye and just blend it right into that deepened purple shade and just feather it out to that pink in the crease. You don't need much. Let the shade speak for itself. Look at that. Beautiful. Like, I love it. Love it. Okay. So now I'm going to take the same blending brush that we used for the outer corners and just blend the edges. Just a tiny little bit so that there's no harsh lines. Basically just tap on the edge so that it just seamlessly blends into each other. I just want a tiny little bit more of this burgundy shade. And I'm going to take that on my lower lash line. Just like that. Beautiful. And then I'm going to take a small pencil brush. I know we use the highlighter in the inner corners, but I'm going to take this shade, which is called Cheeky from the palette. I'm just going to pop it right there. Just like that. Now, I'm just going to finish off my eyes with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. For the eyeliner, I'm going to take the Huda Cosmetics eyeliner, the Hero line liner. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this eye. Let's finish it off with our lips. For the lip liner, I'm going to take my Huda Beauty's lip liner and this one is in the shade Trophy Wife. I think that would go so beautifully with the eye look. So let's line our lips. For the lipstick, I'm going to take my Jaclyn Cosmetics liquid lipstick and this is in the shade I'm a Cancer. Oh, this paired up with that rosy lipstick, a lip liner would be lovely. I'm just going to blend it out with my fingers. It looks hideous right now. But just you wait. And that is our look. Like, I love this rosy tone that we created. So appropriate right now in the season where all the rosy tones palette are there in the market. And you can see, like, you can get such a similar vibe using these palettes. I mean, I was definitely not going for that intention, but I mean, I'm super happy the way it all turned out. I really hope that you loved this look that I created for you guys. And let me know if you have like an influencer brand that you absolutely love and adore. and you love all the new releases that are coming from their brands, if you have that kind of a brand in your mind, do definitely leave it down in the comment section below so that I can check it out for myself. But yes, if you did like this video, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.